Hello and welcome to this handy guide to the voting procedures at ACWW's upcoming 31st Triennial World Conference.
We know that every conference is slightly different, and first-time attendees or voters can find the process complicated or overwhelming. We want to make it as clear and easy as possible.
As well as being a fantastic opportunity to see old and make new friends, the Triennial World Conference serves a crucial function for ACWW, as it is the organisation's highest deliberative and policy-making forum.
The conference will feel like one all-inclusive event, but actually serves two functions laid out in the Constitution of ACWW, covering the business of the conference and business of the general meeting.
This general meeting business includes receiving audited financial statements, a financial report and financial management report, and the presentation of the budget for the next triennium.
It also sets the membership dues for the next triennium, elects the trustees by secret ballot, can amend the Constitution, and considers and adopts or rejects resolutions and recommendations for ACWW members to act on.
The conference business elements include the reports of the board and areas, a central office report, and reports from member societies, which collectively are presented as a triennial report of work.
For many elements of the conference and general meeting, it is necessary for members to vote on decisions in conference sessions. We would like to take a few minutes to explain how this works.
ACWW's voting process is based on the category of society membership, and each member society must, as part of the preparation for the conference, nominate a lead delegate who is responsible for collecting voting and ballot papers and ensuring that they are cast appropriately. The form for this was sent out with Conference Information Number 9 on 8th of January 2026 and must be received by ACWW Central Office by 16th of February 2026.
Once a society has nominated its lead delegate, the process for in-person registration becomes a little different. If you are a lead delegate, when you arrive at the registration desk at the Westin Hotel in Ottawa, you will collect all your normal bits and pieces like the conference bag and conference credentials. You'll also sign a register acknowledging that we have given you the voting papers for your society. These are crucial, and if lost, will not be replaced to avoid any voting confusion, so please keep them safe.
Coloured voting papers are issued with the colour and number shown corresponding to the relevant conference session. For example, Conference Session 1 may have green voting papers with a number 1 shown, while Conference Session 2 will have a different colour. If you are carrying multiple votes, which we'll discuss in a moment, you'll be given multiple voting papers for each session.
Category 1 voting member societies are entitled to carry 5 votes. Many societies will ask their lead delegate to distribute these votes among their delegations, whilst others will hold all 5.
Category 2 voting member societies are entitled to carry 2 votes, and Category 3 voting member societies are entitled to carry 1 vote. As Category 6 members, board members are entitled to carry 1 vote, but should not also be a lead delegate for a society.
We'll cover the voting processes shortly, but first we want to discuss the 2 types of majority needed during the conference. Voting on policy resolutions and recommendations and other procedural elements are passed on the basis of a 50% plus 1 vote majority of those societies present and eligible to vote.
However, constitutional amendments require 75% of those societies present and eligible to vote to be successful. The voting strength, the possible total number of votes available to be cast in that session, and the relevant majority numbers will be announced at the start of each conference session that includes voting.
The main conference hall will have multiple doors, which will be very clearly labeled and staffed by ACWW and volunteers. If you are a lead delegate, you must enter using the voting doors, and if you have shared any of your voting papers with delegation members, they must enter with you at the same time. Your credentials will mark you as a lead delegate, and no other members will be allowed through these doors carrying voting papers unless accompanied by their lead delegate.
Non-voting attendees should use the other doors into the conference hall. Once in the hall, it is crucial that you stay in the assigned areas, either voting or non-voting, to ensure no confusion around the voting strength of the session.
If you miss the start of a conference session, you will not be allowed to enter the voting doors late, as it will change the voting strength of that session. So please ensure you are prompt and you have your delegation together when you approach the doors to enter. All attendees must be wearing their credentials at all times.
When a motion is presented to conference, the chair of the session, often the World President, will call for voting delegates to raise their voting papers either for the motion, against the motion, or in abstention to the motion. If the for vote is clearly unanimous or an overwhelming consensus majority, it may not be necessary to conduct a full count. If the vote is closer, the tellers will conduct a full count of votes for, against and abstaining, and these results will then be presented to the chair for announcement to the conference.
ACWW uses the term trustees and board members interchangeably to refer to members of the Board of Trustees. This board is elected at the Triennial World Conference. This process takes place in 2 phases. An online secret ballot is held to elect area presidents, ensuring that the widest possible number of member societies in each area is represented in electing their area president. This process happens before the Triennial World Conference, with the votes recorded securely and only opened in front of the independent scrutineer at the same time that the main election ballots are counted.
Each Category 1, 2, and 3 society will be asked for contact details of their official representative who will be voting for them online for the area president. This representative will be sent the details for the access portal and clear instructions on how to vote online, with a specified window of time to cast their votes. All other board members are voted for by secret ballot by those present at the conference during the election, which will be held on the evening of Monday, 27th of April.
The room used for the election will be announced in the published conference programme and verbally during the preceding afternoon sessions. To avoid crowding and confusion, only lead delegates and any of the delegation carrying voting papers should make their way to the election room between 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. on Monday the 27th. Ballot papers will be issued to the lead delegate, who will again have to sign to say they have received them.
All board members need to obtain 50% plus 1 of the eligible votes to be declared elected. You can choose to vote yes or no by each candidate's name on the ballot paper. Certain board positions have more than 2 candidates standing, and this may mean a second ballot is required. It is also possible that no candidate receives 50% plus 1 vote in the first round. If this happens, a second ballot will be held on the evening of the 28th of April.
Once the election voting has concluded, the votes will be counted by the tellers, overseen by the independent scrutineer. Results of the election will be announced during the conference, and the new Board of Trustees takes office at the conclusion of the 31st Triennial World Conference.
We look forward to seeing you at the Triennial World Conference in Ottawa, Canada this year.